was talking to a patron of this channel just the other day. He was saying, Colin, you got to do more numbers. And he said, if you do more numbers, I'll keep contributing. I said, sure, I'll try to squeeze more numbers in here. But every time I go to do a story about numbers, I realize that whatever number we're seeing is actually, as bad as it is actually way, way worse because of things we've talked about here many times before. Witness intimidation, stitches for snitches, jury tampering, cradle to prison pipeline, and city officials not wanting to arrest black people, not wanting to criminalize black people when they break the law. I was thinking about this when I saw the story out of San Francisco. We did this story a couple months ago, but I find myself thinking about it a lot. It was a story about how in San Francisco, the city is only like 6% black, yet the number of failures to appear in traffic court is about 50% black. That is proof positive to the supervisors and the powers that be in San Francisco that the cops are picking on black people for no reason whatsoever. And to quote one of the supervisors up there, we have to do better. And so those numbers are bad, right? Traffic numbers, traffic court, 50% failure to appear, 6% of the population. Okay, let's watch this video and let's see this video take these numbers that are bad and blow them into horrific.
The driver of this silver Toyota is in a red zone facing the wrong direction in the Bayview section of San Francisco. Upon further inspection, the driver is still in the car enjoying some barbecue chicken he got from here. But you can't park in the red zone.
Well, I'm not parked.
You are parked.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna move.
Well, I think it's a little late now. It's a little late because San Francisco police rolled up and cited the driver for driving on the wrong side of the street.
I didn't know he was behind me.
The driving and parking habits of people who either frequent or live in the Bayview leaves a lot to be desired. This driver is double parked at a corner, but his flashers are on, so I guess to him, that makes it all right. There are cars parked on the sidewalk on just about every street in the Bayview in clear violation of San Francisco parking codes. But as one parking officer told me, I don't write tickets because I want to go home at the end of the day. So instead, they place these green warning flyers on vehicles illegally parked on the sidewalk. You can't park on the sidewalk, man.
Okay, I move.
There are sections of San Francisco where parking on the sidewalk will almost guarantee you a $100 plus fine. But in the Bayview, simply because DPT workers are threatened with bodily injury, many are refusing to write tickets. And while I was there, I also noticed that parking meters also appear to go unenforced. For the record, I was even threatened for taping, so I can say it's pretty sketchy out there.
Don't put me on your TV, Blue.
Yeah. In the Bayview section of San Francisco, Stanley Roberts, Crown 4 News.
Okay, here's one thing you have to know about the Bayview area of San Francisco. If you don't live there, you wouldn't know this unless you had access to a super sophisticated research tool, which I call Bing. Anyway, if you look up the Bayview area, this is where the heaviest concentration of black people are in San Francisco. And so the people writing traffic tickets, the people writing tickets for cars on the sidewalk and whatever, they won't write tickets up there because they've received too many threats. So what does that do to those numbers? What does that tell us about the attitude of elected officials and unelected officials in the Bay Area when it comes to crime? What it tells us is that black people are not really criminals when they break the law. They're really victims of white racism that has somehow forced them to break the law and to get caught. Isn't that amazing? They won't enforce traffic laws in Bayview. And you know what? California is a place where they do enforce traffic laws. It's not like the East Coast. You know, I remember when I first went to California a long time ago. On the East Coast, basically people do not, pedestrians especially, but cars more so, people just kind of like take traffic laws as suggestions. And when I got to San Diego, I remember I saw a red light across the middle of the street. I turned around. I was the only one in the middle of the street. There were 30 people waiting on the curb looking at good old Colin for breaking the law. Luckily, my white privilege helped me get out of that mess. But isn't that crazy? Like, the numbers are already incredibly bad. Now we find out as bad as they are, they're actually way, way worse. And the attitude of elected officials is just unbelievable towards black criminality. So if Bayview is one of the area's highest concentrations of black people, the Tenderloin's not too far behind. So I thought I would just throw this story in there as well, just because we can. Lady walking through the Tenderloin area with a kid, some black dude comes up, and the NBC affiliate, to its credit, identified him as a black person, came up and punched the lady in the face. That's how they roll there. So if we have a high concentration of black people in Bayview and Tenderloin, if you ever been across the bridge to Marin County, that's where George Lucas lives. I was standing in line at a movie theater there a couple of years ago. There's only like 3 people in line. I turned around and the guy behind me was George Lucas and his girlfriend. I think he was her girlfriend, man. I don't think they were married yet. Anyway, so that's how white that place is. And so when you have a high concentration of black people, that's an area of criminality, threats to cops. But on the other end, Marin County, where there's a low concentration, that's looked as a happy hunting ground. Give this video a watch.
Police in San Rafael are asking for help identifying 3 young women they say assaulted and robbed a 92-year-old woman at a shopping mall. KPIX5's Katie Nielsen is here now to explain what happened. Katie?
Betty, police in San Rafael call this a brazen attack because it happened at 3:30 in the afternoon last Saturday in the busy parking lot of Northgate Mall. Police say while the woman was not seriously injured, it's important they find the 3 suspects in this case.
This type of crime is unacceptable, so we should find these people.
Police say the 3 women in the pictures assaulted the elderly woman right after she left the mall. Officers say the woman was about to get in her car when a silver Nissan sedan drove up next to her. They say the girl seen in the video wearing the bun in her hair jumped out of the back seat, assaulted the elderly woman, grabbed her purse, then jumped back in the car as it sped away. But not before the surveillance cameras got a good look at the 3 women and the silver car.
It was calculated. It definitely looked like it was calculated.
Police say surveillance video like this one from the mall shows the 3 suspects were carefully choosing their victim.
She was just completely frantic. She was.
Emmanuel said the elderly victim came into the bank where she works immediately after the robbery. They helped her call police, still shocked at what happened.
I just don't expect people to be doing this, specifically in this area. It's just really safe.
I've been up here for a couple of years and I felt pretty safe in Marin County, so that's just sad to hear that would happen to such an elderly lady.
There's really only one kind of crime that's really kind of overwhelmed my ability to gather them all together and to put them all together. So I'm just going to tell you and ask you to take my word for it. It's these crimes in parking lots, in nice parking lots. There's a whole lot of them. They're a lot of unreported, and the ones that are reported don't seem to really cause a lot of fuss. But there's an enormous amount of criminality in nice shopping center parking lots all over the country. I learned that here from one of the viewers of this channel. His wife belongs to one of these Facebook neighborhood mom groups, which they would not let me join because I'm not a mom, I guess. Anyway, on this mom thing, they have a lot of information about, like, this happened like 4, 5, 6 times at a little mall near my house called the Concord Mall. Fellas and or their lovely ladies just stalking people in the parking lots, beating them, stealing their purse, and getting the hell out of there. Just another facet, another little piece of evidence to document the greatest lie of our generation, the biggest hoax of our lifetime that we expose here, the myth of black victimization. I mean, we saw it on full display over the weekend, right? And a couple nights before, the NFL football. I mean, we've got 200 NFL guys now kneeling down, ought to support the fact that black people are relentless victims of relentless white racism all the time, everywhere. That explains everything. And it's not what Roger Goodell said. It's not, they're not out there protesting because Trump called them a bad name. It's amazing how often people that are like famous, like Goodell or these football players or all these people that write headlines, it's amazing how often they can just say something and be totally unchallenged and people would just read it and go, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Trump caused all this. That sure as hell is a lot easier than saying anything that might make the black kids angry.